Hey everybody, it's Tony with Big T Bariatric, and I'm back at you with another reaction video. Today it is Tuesday, February 21st. I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. If you could do me a huge favor, just kind of look down there and see that subscribe button, and if you haven't pressed it yet, please do so. Let's get this channel to 4,000 subscribers. I greatly appreciate it. Also, leave a like, leave a comment, let me know what you think about this video. But before I get started, I just want to talk about something new that I just started doing with the channel. A few nights ago, I decided to start a Patreon channel. If you want to know some more details about that, I did create a community post about it. And essentially what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to upgrade video quality. And I need to get a microphone and a better camera. I need to get a chair and a desk and stuff like that. I'm currently recording videos on my bed. And so, yeah, I definitely want to improve video quality, but I can't afford some of the extra stuff that I need to do that. So I was looking and trying to think of a way that I can earn some extra money by producing some good content that you guys like. And so I settled on Patreon because if you send money on PayPal, they take like 30% of it, where Patreon only takes 8% of it, and you can get paid quicker on Patreon. So, and they also allow me to create extra content that is specific to Patreon. And so that's a lot of the benefits that you're going to get if you become a Patreon supporter. It's only $5 a month. I'm not having all these different tiers and stuff like that. It's $5 a month, and you get access to extra special content that's not going to be on YouTube here. There'll be live chats and live Q&As. There will be fan requests that you can make if you have something you specifically want me to react to. If you want me to make a video specific for you, I can do that as well. So yeah, go over to my Patreon if you're interested in helping out. It'll really improve this channel. That's what it's for. 100% of the proceeds is going to go for getting better stuff to make better videos. And so yeah, if you're interested, the link is in my description. It's also in the about section as well. And so yeah, thank you very much to anybody who joins and becomes a Patreon supporter. So anyways, this is a request I've been getting a lot lately. These homeless brothers try to regain control of their lives for my 600-pound life. And so let me make sure the playback speed is up a little bit. Okay, so let's get started with this video right now.
I never thought my life would end up like this. I feel I'm in a nightmare because
I mean, that's one of the things about being over 600 pounds is your options for living are very, very limited as it is, but that includes financially. Like, a lot of these people are blessed to have somebody that they can live with, somebody who's able to take care of them, maybe a spouse, maybe a parent. Somehow they're able to live and have their own place. But a lot of them probably don't have access to that. And these brothers in particular are living in a van, because not only are you limited in how much money you can make, like you can't go out and find a job standing on your feet 8 hours a day. Like I couldn't do that. And I've struggled over the years financially. Even right now, I've talked about how I've been struggling financially because my work is erratic and how I get paid is crazy. And so I don't make enough money to barely even pay my own bills right now, but I'm trying my hardest to be able to do that. And I look forward to the day after I lose the weight that I can find a better paying job. But for somebody my size, that's not out there. And so that just sort of adds to the complications of trying to find some work. And if you don't have a place to live because you're too big that you can't work, I mean, that's just going to add to the perpetuating cycle of bad things that are going to happen to you in your life.
my life is such a mess right now in so many ways. But my living situation and health are my two biggest struggles right now because they're the worst they've ever been.
And I just want to make sure the volume is all the way up for this. It's not. All right. I was playing a game yesterday and I turned the volume down, so that should be better.
And I just feel like my world has fallen apart. Me and my brother live in my van because we're homeless, and my size makes my situation harder because of how I struggle now to fit places and do things. How'd you sleep? All right.
I couldn't imagine sleeping in my truck, though. I mean, that's one of the things, too, when you're so big, you don't get comfortable in places. Like sitting in a normal chair, doing normal things, like you can't do it. But they're at least lucky enough to have a van to be able to sleep in.
Little painful. My hip kept on bothering me. I had to readjust. Yeah, I really want to take a shower. It's been a while. Do we have enough money for a room? Yeah, I think we might.
That's the other side of it, though. It's like financially, you're struggling. You're living in a van, but they have enough money to get a room if they need to. They have enough money to afford their food addiction. And so that's what we see with a lot of people who are drug addicts is, they become so addicted to their drug that they lose everything. They lose their family, they lose their home. And the only thing that they can do is afford to buy drugs. That's what they live for. And some of them prostitute themselves or commit crimes in order to find the money they need to keep their drug going. And so I wonder if these brothers would have enough money to get an apartment if their food addiction was lowered. I mean, since I've had surgery and I'm not ordering out, I'm not eating like garbage anymore. Financially, I am doing a little better because my money isn't going to food anymore. But it's still a struggle, right? So I get that question a lot from comments like, how do these people afford to eat as much food as they do, and they order out all the time? And that's a good question.
But let's get something to eat first. Let's go. It's not very easy to go to sleep in a van on the streets. There's always people around, other homeless people, addicts, and then we also got to keep a lookout for cops.
I mean, it's also, you probably need a CPAP at this point when you're that big. So you're not really getting any kind of good sleep. It's uncomfortable. You're worried about cops. You're worried about thieves, and then you probably need a CPAP.
We don't want to get in trouble or have them tell us that we can't be here anymore. What helps me forget about that and all my troubles is food, and my life revolves around eating as much as possible.
Hello.
Hello.
How y'all doing?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
I always laugh when Dr. Now walks into a room. Howdy, y'all. How y'all doing?
Good. I'm Dr. Nazardan, and you are?
Dominic Hernandez.
Nice to meet you.
James Hernandez. His
James
brother.
Hernandez. Brothers, huh?
Brothers.
All right. So where y'all coming from?
California. Central
California.
Valley.
That's quite a ways.
California, where the fish flow like wine. Man, I forgot that quote from Dumb and Dumber. California, nice.
So you came all this way for help with your weight.
Yes.
Okay. And I see your brothers also with the same pattern, but they're not quite as bad as you.
Yes.
Okay. So you're...
Makes you wonder, too, like how much the brother's life has been impacted by his brother being as big as he is and needing as much food as he does. So is his brother eating like him, and so he started gaining weight? Or is most of the money that both of them are trying to get some money together to live their lives together and try to better themselves, but one brother's massive addiction is really taking a toll on their relationship as a whole? This would be interesting.
37, and you weighed 672 pounds. And how's your activity?
So he's only one more pound more than I was at my heaviest. So this gives a good look at what I was like when I was at my heaviest. I mean, I was still able to get up and move around a little bit. I have a truck, that I'm able to drive. So I wasn't completely bedridden, but I knew that if I didn't lose the weight, that I would be there very, very soon.
Limited, none.
You walk?
Yeah, I do walk. I can walk.
How much you can walk before you get tired?
I'll say a few yards, 20 yards.
Any shortness of breath?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's very similar to what I had to deal with. I mean, going to the bathroom, I was out of breath, and my bathroom is just right there. It's connected to my bedroom. Going out to the truck, that would be completely out of breath, and I had to struggle and fight to climb into it. Now I can just hop into it, no problem.
Okay. So you're struggling with your mobility. So you're not working now, huh?
No.
So then, does your brother work?
No.
All right. So your brother is here with you for moral support?
Yes, for moral support.
Okay.
I mean, the brother at least could work. I mean, why isn't he working? Like, the brother is a bit smaller. He would probably have a better opportunity to find work. So why isn't he working? Why are they both kind of struggling at this together? I mean, if he was only to find a part-time job, that would go a long way in improving the situation. But at this point, he might be feeling like, wow, even if I got a job, every dollar I made would be going towards my brother's food addiction.
And how old are you?
I'm 44.
So your big brother.
Yeah, 7 years older.
Okay. So if you don't work and he doesn't work, how do you make a living if you're not working?
Well, we're homeless right now. We're living in our van.
Both of you live in a car or what?
Yes, in the van.
How do you get money to eat? Your food stamp or
Yeah,
what?
food stamps. We get general aid and food stamps
And I used to work.
through temp agency.
Well, they just showed him driving through the McDonald's drive-through, and as far as I know, I don't know if it's different in the state that they live. You cannot buy fast food with food stamps, so they're getting some extra food somehow, especially if they have money to get a room so that they can take a shower and stuff like that. They're getting some money somehow. I'm not sure. Maybe they do get a little bit of extra aid on top of their food stamps. I don't know.
Agencies. He gets jobs every once in a while.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you?
Okay, so he does get jobs every once in a while. It sounds like a need as basis. So if they need money for food, if they need money to get a room, he'll find a job and he'll do that job. But it's not a long term fix. And which would dramatically change their lives is if he got a job and worked, and let's say he's going to support his brother, while his brother goes through the weight loss program and loses the weight, and within probably about 6 months, he would probably be able to get a job. That's why I'm really looking. I'm filling out applications like crazy. I'm trying to get a job. And, I'm afraid people just see a big person. They don't see that I was much bigger or that I've lost all this weight or anything like that. They just see a big person. So it's going to be hard for the bigger brother to get a job until he gets a lot of the weight off. But I'm hoping that by the summer, I will have something a bit more stable and I'll be able to be in a better financial position. But it's really tough being this big.
You all eat in regular day?
Junk food, chips,
Junk food.
cold stuff that we could just eat, out of the can.
All right. I don't know what there will be the possibility of your food stamp to be transferred to here instead of Texas. You have to have an address in Texas to be able to do that.
That's another good point too. To get food stamps, to get any kind of aid, I know how it is in Michigan. You need an address, right? And he just said the same thing about Texas, that you need an address, you need a place to live. So they're gonna have to find some kind of shelter or something so that they can have an address in order to get any kind of aid. The show is going to pay for their surgery, so that's fine. I needed Michigan Medicaid. Well, it's McLaren Medicaid is what I have right now, and McLaren is like a big hospital system in the area, and so that's their bariatric program is what I went through, and they paid for all of it. So if you're struggling financially and you're over 600 pounds and you don't think you can afford getting weight loss surgery, look into a Medicaid program. If you're disabled, you're unable to work, they will likely help you get into a program. They will pay for the dietitian, they will pay for the appointments, they'll pay for your surgery.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we got the difficult situation with your health and issues you got with your figure out your life and both of you, and dynamic that you have that both of you are overeating and enabling each other. So all that's going to be a difficult situation to treat. We got to get the home shelters around in Houston. Then we can get you over there so you can have at least bathing facility and meals and things like that first, because you both need some stability in your life to start to get.
I remember when I was living in Texas and I was about to move back to Houston or to Michigan, and we were trying to find where the bus stop is because the bus. Actually, I was going to get on a train. My sister got me a train ticket, but the train didn't start in Houston. I had to take a bus in Houston to get to the train station somewhere else. Something like that. I'm trying to remember. But we couldn't find the place, right? And so the person who was driving me around, he dropped me off somewhere because they were trying to find where the bus station was. And so I kind of went into this building saying, trying to look for directions or something. When I came out, he was gone. So he was driving me all around Houston trying to find the bus station, and we could not find it. And so, yeah, he stopped somewhere, told me to go in and look for directions. When I came out, he was gone. So it was just me in my bag in downtown Houston, and I had no idea where I was. I was stuck there. I was lost there. It was probably the most horrifying moment of my life, being stuck in downtown Houston, being 600 pounds, hardly able to walk, trying to find where the bus station was. And yeah, I had to stop frequently and take breaks. And, finally I was able to wave down a cop, and he was able to point me in the right direction. And I asked if he can give me a ride there, and he said no. And so I had to walk my way there. And by the time I got there, the place had closed down. And they said, the bus isn't leaving again until the next day. So I had to sleep there, no money, no nothing. I had to sleep on the street in downtown Houston at the bus station, and it was scary. It was blah. I did not like it. It was horrible. But luckily, I had my bag I was able to sleep on, and it's so hot there in Houston. It's so humid. But I was able to find. They had a crack in the door, like in a side door. Like there was like a crack like this big, and there was cold air pouring out of it because I guess the air conditioning is big down there, and so I was able to lay down there and get a couple hours of sleep. But I was finally able to get the bus. I'm sure I smelled good, and get back to Michigan.
Get things under control like you need. But Dominic, your health is going to start to decline rapidly if you don't do something now to change things.
I understand.
Okay. All right. So let's get you to a homeless shelter, or we'll see about public housing, because you may be qualified for some assistance, and we will have to get a social worker to work with you and see what we can do to get you that.
Yeah, there's a lot of places out there that are willing to help you get the care that you need. And so a lot of it is pride. A lot of people are not willing to ask for help. They were raised that way. They seem to think that asking for help is a bad thing, when in reality, it's like, okay, you're going to choose death over asking for help. I mean, that's what I had to come to. It's like I had to decide that I was going to ask for help with my weight loss problem or my diet problem, or I was going to die, because I tried and tried and tried, yo-yo dieted for decades, trying to get the weight off with no luck. And so the only thing that worked for me was getting into a program that offered me support and was able to help me. So,
but we get a lot of obstacles to overcome and get your life back. So at the meantime, you're going to have to change your eating habit, both of you. So I'm going to give you both to read some stuff. That's a food time void. I want you to eat only 3 times a day, no snacking.
Wait a minute. I'm only here for moral support.
the other brother's like, hey, I'm not a part of this. All right. That's the fat boy over there. I'm fine over here just being myself. I'm here for moral support. I don't want nothing to do with this. What are you doing? But really, if he's gonna succeed, the other brother has to do it too. Right? Like there's no way that he's gonna be able to continue eating the way that he wants to eat and ordering fast food and all that, and not enticing his other brother to want to eat as well. So it's like virtually impossible to diet when you're living with somebody who just refuses to take part of it. So if you're living with a family, it's almost like everybody in the whole family has to diet with you. And I know that's really, really tough. It's hard to do. But we've seen many, many episodes of My 600-Pound Life where we have one person living in a large family, or living with a large group of people, and everybody else is ordering out and eating like crap, and eating whatever they want to eat. And then you're sitting there with your little piece of salad, and you're like, what is everybody doing? Like, it's really, really hard to do.
But if you're going to eat bad and he's going to sit down and watch you, that's not going to work.
So you're going to have to eat better too.
Okay? So you're going to be moral support. You're going to have to do your part too. Okay?
All right.
Because you're part of his overeating.
Just the look in his eyes, like just pure fear, and like, oh, I don't want to do this.
And he's part of your overeating. You both are feeding each other, and this dynamic is not going to be possible to change unless both of you change. Is that something you both understand?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to give you both a high-protein diet, low carb, and 1,200 calories a day. Okay?
I mean, so far, it looks like the brother's going to be supportive. He's like, if this is what I have to do to help my brother out, if I have to be a part of the program too, then so be it.
See you both in 2 months. In the meantime, if you need anything, give me a call.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you.
Me and James are here back at Dr. Now's to see how my weight loss is. And I feel good about my chances of being as low as I need. I know me and James changed a lot. I think I made some good progress that will make Dr. Now proud of me.
Yeah, let's really hope so, right? When you're in a position of being homeless, you don't really have a whole lot of options. And so Let's see if he did it.
Hello.
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 How y'all doing?
Good.
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing good. And how are you getting situated in Houston? Were you able to get housing set up?
No, not yet. It's kind of hard trying to find a place. I called those numbers. They sent us to a place, but and there was long lines, and we didn't get to make it in. And then the next day we went back, they closed early. Yeah, so we didn't get to talk to
Yeah, if I made it seem like getting help was so easy, it can be difficult for some people, um, especially getting shelter. If there's a lot of homeless people in a specific area, like a big city like Houston, it can be tough to find necessary housing. But getting Medicaid and all that, you just have to apply for it. You can apply for it online, and you have to provide proof of whatever. And there are boxes that say, "Are you homeless?" And so. Um, they will try their best to help you out as much as possible. It's not always going to be easy. You might have to work for it just a little bit, but help is there.
anybody yet about finding the affordable housing.
So then what kind of changes you made in your eating habit?
I'm trying to stick to the under 1,200 calories, and but we still have some of our food we're trying to finish because we don't want to throw it away. And
I got some food that I'm trying to finish, and I'm not trying to throw it away. You don't have to 100% go strict on Dr. Now's diet right away if you have a bunch of food. I mean, the best option would be to throw it out, but of course you're not going to do that. You're poor, you're on food stamps, you can't let food go to waste, right? So the best thing to do there is you can still eat what you have left, but eat smaller portions of it. Make sure you try to keep to that 1,200 calories, maybe 1,500 calories at most, if possible. You don't have to gulp down food in large quantities in order to get rid of what you have left. You can still maintain 1,200 calories a day. You might not be perfect, but at least you're going to show some type of weight loss.
we didn't have enough money to go get more, but it's not the healthiest, but it was still under the 1,200 calories.
Okay.
Well, that sounds positive, but you're not making the progress you should. And you need to work harder on doing the diet and losing more weight.
They didn't talk about what his scale said, whether or not he gained or lost weight. Maybe they'll talk about it here later, but Dr. Now said he's not showing progress that he should be doing. So we'll see.
Okay.
And then what I want you to do is to start going to psychotherapy to see if they can help you make some progress. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, good. How's your brother doing? Are you all changing?
I mean, I often talk about how I wish there was more talk about psychotherapy. Some people get frustrated with me and say that's not Dr. Now's job. He's just a medical doctor. But as I was saying, like my bariatric program was an entire comprehensive program, right? It wasn't just, hey, here's a diet, stick to the diet. It was a dietitian that would work with me on my diet, help me figure out better ways of eating. I was able to email or contact the dietitian anytime I wanted to. There was a therapist. There was all kinds of means to get anything that I needed, any kind of help to make the progress easier. And so that's why I wish there was more programs like that were comprehensive, that had every facet taken care of, because there's different reasons why people are obese. For some people it's just a food addiction. Some people went through major trauma. And so I had somebody in the comments last night who just did not seem to care about the trauma people went through. They did it to themselves. They deserve the worst. Like, he was just very, very aggressive and mean towards people who are obese. And some people just think that way about obese people. You did it to yourself. You're fat. Just lose the weight, fat boy. And it's like, okay, seriously? You don't think there's any mental component to that people need to care about? That they need to work on trauma or some issues that they went through? I mean, there was one person who's like, I've been through everything. I've been through all kinds of trauma. There's no excuse for somebody to gain weight. It's like, seriously, everybody has some kind of thing in their life. Somebody has something, right? You have something that you might be addicted to, or something that you used for comfort or whatever. We all have something. Somebody else chose food because that's what was readily available to them, or something. It's like people are trying to survive. Some people are trying to overcome major, major trauma in their lives, and I wish people were more sympathetic of that.
Together or eating the same thing or what?
I'm changing. He's changing slower. He's taking a little while. He's eating a little more.
I had to sacrifice and eat the less healthy food.
Yeah.
He's not going to be able to do this.
You don't sacrifice by eating the less healthy food. You give the less healthy food away. Like, Try to get rid of that. And I know you're on a limited budget, but if you're able to go to McDonald's, use that money to buy a little extra healthier food. You know, you can make better decisions, and you're just not doing it right now.
If you're not doing this with him.
Yeah, that's true. We're all done with
Sorry, I just need to, my back is really hurting me, so I need to shift a little bit. Oh, see, this is why I need a real chair. All right.
unhealthy food. So from
Okay.
now on, it's all your diet.
All right, well, good. What about work? Have you tried to find work? Because the job market is so good in here, you can find jobs.
Yeah, Yeah, by the end of the week, I expect to be working.
Okay.
Well, that's that's good that he's able to find some work. And that's the thing about Houston is that the job market seems to be always on the move there.
Well, stay positive and keep trying. None of this is easy, but you have to keep working on it if you want this, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm glad Dominic made some progress, but he still seems to lack an overall motivation to do what he needs to turn his life around. And my biggest concern is his brother James, since his behavior and choices are going to...
Other than like illness and being very close to death, I don't understand that you're homeless, and that's not a big enough of a driver for you to decide to make better decisions. Even after meeting with Dr. Now and him giving you a strict diet, you decide that, okay, I'm going to go back to my van and not eat the way that I should be eating. I mean, clearly, if he's not making progress, he's not eating 1,200 calories. He said he was eating less than that, but obviously not.
continue to have a negative effect on Dominic that makes it harder for him. But again, this all has to start with Dominic, and with all the obstacles we're still facing with him, maybe psychotherapy can help him to find that motivation. Because right now, I'm not seeing anything from him that convinces me he's taking this seriously and ready to move ahead. And if that doesn't change, there's not going to be anything we can do for him.
I'm going to try my hardest to work even harder this time and eat less.
Yeah, that's the thing about motivation is it can be tricky to find. Maybe it does take psychotherapy for someone like him to find his motivation to decide that it's time to change and move on with his life. But anyways, that's my video for today. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And again, if you don't see another video from me, that means the ice storm took my power. So anyways, have a good one. God bless you all.